Let's rock and roll. The bottom of Zayin Amir Bees. Let's start from Amar Rav Yechanan, about 10 lines to the bottom, right on top of that circle guy in your Gemara. Amar Rav Yechanan Sukkah Asiyah Ki Kivshan. Sukkah made like an oven im yish b'hakifa, if in the circumference it has Te'elishiv b'chof daled b'nei adam, 24 people. You know what's in Rav Nachem? Sorry, can you grab a bunch of those picture books? I think it will help if we all sit here, because it has all the math in it.
24 people.
24 people.
Why does it be so big?
Oh, that's the kasha. Okay, let's get there. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Page Lamed. Gishmak. Very happy that all the 24 people inside the sukkah are wearing their jackets. Baruch Hashem, can you imagine if they weren't wearing their jacket in the sukkah over there? It wouldn't be a sukkah pasha.
Yeah.
I thought we raised money yesterday. 75 grand to buy some tissues.
You should bring it up to the board member.
All right.
It's a paper towel. A Zavi tissue in Europe, no?
There's a paper towel.
Right there, next to the sink.
Oh, no, that's enough. No.
Rather suffer than use that.
Nostalgic like the mirror.
Yeah, no. Right.
Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Yechanan Sukkah Asiyah Ki Kivshan, Im Yish Be'Hekifa. If the circumference could Kidei Lisha Ba Chavtal B'nei Adam Kshira, then it is kosher. V'im Lav Psula. Period. Day number 1, 24 people. Why, what, here, and when? Let's go. Kiman, says the Gemara, Kirabi. The Amar Kol Sukkah She'in B'Dalet Amois Al Dalet Amois Psula. Good? So you need to have Dalet Amois Al Dalet Amois. Good? So again, as we spoke of last night, the question here is, how can we fit a square of 4 by 4 either in the circle or the circle in it? Now, I'm aware that everyone here, we think one way, and the Gemara is going to think that way as well. So let's let the Gemara develop itself.
24 people.
Says,
Don't even fit in
let's just, I think it's easier for you to speak it outside for a minute. If I were to tell you that this is the minimum size sukkah, yeah? This safer. Okay, what is this? This is called 4 amos by 4 amos. It's a rectangle. Okay, got to use your imagination. This is the minimum size sukkah, yeah? And now I were to tell you, okay, make a circle sukkah. What would you do? You would be very smart, and everyone would not make a circle azai. Why not? Because it's too small. We all did math, and we all understand that. And therefore, you would make a circle around the square. Now, we're all smarter than the Gemara. And the Gemara's first step is that the circle is inside the square. Everyone understand what I just said? Now, I understand it's counterintuitive. That's why I'm speaking at this point. Because everyone right away says, I don't understand, put the circle outside the square. Like, what are you wasting my time? It could be, this is the Gemara's way of developing the math. Could be. Sometimes Gemaras do that. But that is what happens. So now let's see. So again, this is what we need. It's called Dalet by Dalet. And we know that we have a circle that we just said has a circumference of 24 people. We don't know what that means in math. Now, we got to just do math. That's all it is. Call in the IT guys. Give them the paper. Figure out the numbers. And then call tough. That's all we're going to do right now, basically. Says the Gemara. Keman Kirabi Demar calls like Shem Badal Amazal is Psula. Mechti. Says the Gemara. Let's do some math. How wide is a person? 3 lines from the bottom of Zainim Abis. Mechti, Gavra, Ba'amsa Yosef. We are an Amo. I don't know if anyone did homework last night. I didn't give you the homework, which would be to measure from shoulder to shoulder. I think it's about right. An Amo is somewhere between 1.5 feet and 2 feet. And I think from shoulder to shoulder is probably about that. I think so. Everyone can do their own homework. Says the Gemara. So each person is an Amo. So how big is the circumference? Circumference means to draw a circle. I think that part we all knew. How big is the circumference of the circle? 24 people, 24 amos. Givaldik. Says the Gemara, this is the equation. I'll send them our Gemara. That's what we're going to get to. Very good. Says the Gemara, excuse me. Anytime you have a hekif, a circumference, a circle of 3 tfachim. Yesh by roichav, the width of the circle, which in English, what do we call that? Who remembers? No, not radius. Close. Diameter. Very good. Rebelli, looks like you're walking out of Evergreen. Baruch Hashem, you survived. We got your, yeah. Weiter. So if the circumference is 3, the roichav is 1. Shish roichav tefach. Again? Everyone got that? That's an equation. Simple. I didn't just say anything. I should not be getting any blank stares. This picture over here. Now, what weird how the Gemara knows that we're going to maybe. I would have to buy, and we all know it's not true. And Kasha, the Gemara doesn't know what it's talking about, and scientists know better, and obviously it's ridiculous. And Weiter, and now you just saved 25 hours of our teenage arguments in many tiers over lots of chalent and beer, and maybe some Gary Nim. So, says the Gemara, that's the equation. If the circle is 3, the diameter is 1. So now, let's do the math. If the circle is 2, the diameter is 1. If the circle is 24, the diameter is 8. Very good. That means that the diameter is 8. Good? Yeah. Good, says the Gemara. So now, let's do math. If I need 4, what should I need? Bitreisar sagi. So says the Gemara, it should suffice with 12. Why should it suffice with 12? Because the Gemara is starting off assuming that you're putting the square inside, the circle inside the square. So if the diameter of the circle, like this, we're assuming that the circle's inside the square. So if this is 4 by 4, and I have to draw a circle azai, so we think right now, if this is 4, then this is 4, right? If one side is 4, if the circle's inside, then the side is the same thing as the diameter. So we think, if this is 4, this is 4, so 4 times 3 is 12. Ask the Gemara, why in the world do you need 24? With 12, it should suffice. So far, so good? Yeah. Good. Hani Mili, says the Gemara on the top of Ches Amir Aleph. What Hani Mili, that equation of any time the circumference is 1, excuse me, my words are not working tonight, I apologize. Anytime the diameter is 1, the circumference is 3. Hani Mili bi'igula, avo biribua. When you have a square, baya tvei, you need more. Why do you need more? For simple reasons, because the circle is bigger than the square. I don't think we need to explain that. Says the Gemara.
What do they mean when the circle is around the outside?
We didn't get there. We didn't get there yet. We're getting to there. Says we're mechti. Kama miruba yoiser ala eagle. Now is where we're getting there. How much bigger is the square than a circle? Revia, a quarter. The Gemara is assuming right now that if I were to put the
circle inside the square?
Yeah. No. The Gemara is still going inside the square. Let's read a little bit and then we'll explain in a moment. I want to.
We have a quarter.
Yeah. Says the Gemara. One second. I'm confusing myself over here. One more time. Hani Mili. When do we say, again, the top words, when do we say that the circumference is 3 to 1 is bi'igula? That's by a straight up circle. But by a square, then what? By a tvei. You need to have more. What does it mean you need to have more? It's not going to work with we just said that what's the math going to be? 1 to 3. So if you need to have 4, it's going to be 12. Says the Gemara, no, that's not going to work. Why is that not going to work? Because, this is such a hard havamina. Because we want to account for the area outside of the circle. Did that make any sense to anyone?
In between the circle and
Good. Good. Look at the picture over here. Look at this bottom picture, the middle box. We're saying that if the circle is inside the square, we want to know how much bigger is the square than the circle. Does that make sense to anyone?
You measure each corner, that little piece.
Corner, yeah.
We're trying to add on the corners. Says the Gemara. Now, again, I reiterate. The difficulty here is, in a moment, we're going to go to the next circle, which is what? That you put the circle
Outside.
you put the circle outside the square, and then it's much easier. You know what?
Why don't we just say the same square footage?
Well, that's sort of what the Gemara is trying to do. It's just we're developing this in Gemara terms. I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. So says the Gemara Mechti. How much more kama miruba yoiser ala eagle? How much bigger is a square than a circle? It's like the words are just like hard to say. How much bigger is a square? But everyone understands. Says the Gemara Revia. A square is a quarter bigger than a circle. What does that mean? That means that it's going to be 1.4 times bigger. Says the Gemara, therefore, Bishitzar Sagi. So fine, it's not going to be enough to get 12, but it should be enough to get 16. Meaning, why are we getting to 24? We started with 24. And we said, how big is the diameter? And we need 4 by 4. And the measurement is 1 to 3. Measurement is 1 to 3, Gavaldik. Says the Gemara, but now we need the square, because we need to count for the square measurement.
Each person only needs an amma.
What do you say?
Each person only needs an amma of space.
Correct. So therefore what?
The numbers shouldn't change. No?
What's
No, but we're trying to figure out that should be less than.
No, but what's the meaning of 12 or 16? Like, what do you need to...
We're going the other way. Meaning, we know the square that we need. And now we have a statement that says you need 24. We want to figure out what's 24. So we're saying, if we know that's 4 by 4, let's convert this area into a circle. So first the Gemara said, okay, so if the measurement is that every circle's circumference is a third of is 3 times its diameter, so take a square of 4, and now the circumference is 12. Says the Gemara, no.
You're missing the corner.
You're missing the extra corner outside the circle because you need to get the minimum amount. So says the Gemara, okay, so bust open your circle a little bit. How much more? The math is 1.4. So you get to 16.
How do you get the 1.4?
Because it's 3, a square is a quarter more.
1.25.
A 4x4 turns into 6 round.
6 who?
This is where the math ever get involved.
You take a 4x4 square.
Why
It
1.4?
turns into a 6-inch circle. From end to end, 6 inch.
Right.
6 what circle?
A 4x4 square
Yeah.
turns into.
He's in construction. It's not fair.
No, I
He
don't
understands
understand
these
the
things.
words.
Yeah.
4x4 circle. Yeah.
Turns into a 6-inch round. 8x8.
If you look at the diagonal of a square, it's a 4x4 square. The diagonal 6.
Okay.
10x10, 16.
Okay.
It's the same.
So it comes to
Square
a quarter.
centimeter
So
per.
by all 3.
So how did we get to 16 now?
Oh, I don't know how the Gemara got there.
Oh.
No, because of the
Chaver, I'm sorry. We're making things. I'm making things complicated for no reason. Slow.
Why are we bringing in people? Why don't we just go 4x4?
Yeah, well, that's.
Oh wait, when they say 24 people, they mean 24 amas.
Stop, cut. Rewind. Run. I confused myself because I wrote something in my Gemara over here, and it was. Don't trust yourself. Trust your brain sometimes. You know, something like you write some little note on the side of your thing, and like you just go with it. It was the stupidest thing. Okay, very simple. Let's read the words. I've read the words again. Now it makes sense. Mechti, kama meruba yoser ala eagle. Says the Gemara, how much bigger is a square than a circle? Revia. What does that mean? What that means is, if I have a circle of 12, how big is the square around it going to be? Says the Gemara, Shitzar Sagi, 16. Very simple, which is what we knew all along. What is the perimeter of a 4x4 square, Chevra? 16. That's all the Gemara is saying. So says the Gemara, I don't understand. We started with that you need 24. we started with, okay, let's figure out. Perimeter means the around. If this is 4 and this is 4,
okay.
it's 16.
Yeah.
Says Gemara, very simple. You drew a circle inside, and your circle inside was 12. What's going on over here? If you need 4x4, you only need 16. You can't need more than that. So now is where, again, I jumped a step. You were right, but now is where we're getting there. Says the Gemara, honey mili, slow down, chavra. Be'igol dinafik miguribua. That's if the circle is inside the square, which we all in this room know is ridiculous. And what was the Havamina? Of course, the circle has to be outside the square. Says the Gemara, Avol ribua dinafik migai igula. If the ribua is the square, goes inside the circle, which is pashik, because if you need to have the area of a square, draw the circle around it. Bayotfei. Why do you need more? Because of the corners of the square. Very simple. Oh, it's got to be bigger than 16.
It's going to be bigger than your 4x4.
Good. Very good. So now says the Gemara, it's bigger than our 4x4. How much bigger, says the Gemara? Mechti. Let's do math. So far we know it's definitely more than 16. How much more? Says the Gemara, Mechti. Kol so now is where we get into the Pythagorean theorem. Whoever remembers that one. Yeah, very good. Very good. The triangle. Now we get into our triangles. Kol amsa beribua. Any amma, when you square it, amsa chechumshi balachsoinda. What is the diagonal? You want to figure out what is the diagonal? Since this is very simple. Look at picture Gimel. Look at picture Gimel. And this is like mamish straight out of the regions. If you know that you have a square with one side 4, what is the diameter of your circle? The answer is
square 32.
The answer is square. Good. Says the Gemara. What is that?
Is that
5 and 2, 5 and 3 fifths.
Square 32.
No, it's not. It's off. But it's close.
Is it close?
It's close. Yeah, you can do the math. A plus B equals C. It should be that, but it's not.
Square of A square plus B square. So
it's
16 plus 16 square of it. 30. So
Square
32.
Say the same thing.
Is that 5? How much is it exactly?
It's close. It's not exact.
How close?
Kol amsa. So the Gemara says that every amma is what? An amma ucheichumshi alma, which is 1 and 2 fifths. Good. Every amma is 1 and 2 fifths on the diagonal. So now, if I have 16, how much do I need? Says the Gemara. B'shitzar nechi chumsha sagya. 17 minus a fifth, which is in English 16 and 4 fifths. That's what the
5.65. What do they say? It's not bad.
5 and 3 fifths. Yeah, it's very close.
It's very close.
It's very close. It's very close. Says the Gemara. So now, says the Gemara. So what is our new circumference? 16 and 4 fifths. So now do the math.
Yeah.
So now if the diagonal is 5 and 2 fifths, then
it says 5 and 3.
5 and 3 fifths, slicha. So then what is now multiply that by 3, because we already learned that the circumference, the thing around, is 3 times the diameter. So it's 16 and 4 fifths. So it's not 24. Shitzar 17, the chumsha minus a fifth. Sagya. Says the Gemara, classic answer. Teacher says, what's the answer? 16 and 4 fifths. But you wrote in your test 24. I wasn't precise. Loidak, says the Gemara. Says the Gemara, Eimer damrina loidak porta, a shtekel. Tuva mi amrina loidak. So Amrle Mark Shisha Breder of Chizar of Ashi, mi savris, gavra, but amsa Yosef. You think that every person requires an amma? Well, you got a shtarka mention. Tlasa Gavri betray amma Yasvi. 3 people sit in 2 ammas. It's a third less. Kama havilahu. Okay, all the math people could figure this one out now. So kama havilahu. How much do you have?
How much is 24 people?
Shitzar is 16 ammas. Says the Gemara, 1 second.
So then now we said 16
minutes, so it's not big enough. Oh, now it's too small. Anan, shivsar nechichum shabinan. Oh, we're starting my rechev, don't worry. You need another 4 fifths. Says the Gemara, loy duck. What? Ema darmina loy duck, lechomer lekula. I mean, everyone said the kasha. Can't say loy duck lekula. You need to have at least that amount. You don't have that amount. So how can you say loy duck? Standing Gemara says, really, you're right, the person sits in an amma, and we'll pick up from here tomorrow. I apologize that I made part of it unclear today. First part. Okay, Baruch Hashem.